Hello, thank you very much for the warm welcome. Pretty much helps that the room is half empty, makes me less nervous. So let's start. Also, I prepared a presentation, so maybe I need a clicker. Where do I find it? Thank you. Ah, yeah, nice. All right, as Nick already said, branding is much more than just a design. It always starts with the why, and it makes a more lasting business, I promise. This is what we're going to talk about. From purpose to market leadership, why your brand's purpose is your key to unstoppable business growth. First of all, your product is just a means to an end. Also nur ein Mittel zum Zweck, für alle, die das auch nicht gewusst haben vorher. In other words, nobody cares. Nobody cares about the product. People care about what difference you make through your product. Until the early 70s, computers were huge monsters. Only the military were using it, scientists were using it. It was just, nobody thought of ever using a computer themselves, not the average person. And Intel developed the first microchip, which led to a rally of computer developers in Silicon Valley. And there was one guy, I think most of you know him, Steve Jobs. And he said, or his purpose, everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. And they made the race. After all, they came up with the first Macintosh, which was the first computer for the average household that was also useful. That wasn't a small monster, but it was something nice. People loved using it. First of all, people were like, okay, this is crazy, who needs this? Today we know better. And if you think about the products of Apple and whatever they do, everything they do, they believe in challenging the status quo. They believe in thinking differently, which leads to the products they develop. But it's not about the product, it's about the purpose behind it. That's why they achieved things like the first touchscreen, like AirPods, earphones without cable. I was thinking, how stupid is that? People will steal it in Subway. And today I can't imagine putting this cable shit thing through my t-shirt, waiting till it comes out, putting it back into my pocket. So they know it before we do. Apple Watch, having a smartphone on your wrist. I mean, crazy at the beginning, but today, totally normal. So, and whatever they release, you just feel this purpose. And this is what led them to developing the most innovative products out there that we all love using. And now we have a little quiz for you. I will show you statements, purpose statements of brands, and you are going to guess which brand it is. There will be no prize, but I hope you're engaged anyways. To widen the definition of beauty and help women develop a positive relationship with their look. Which brand is that? Richtig. Also, true, yeah. Totally right. Dove. So, and where does this purpose come from? When you look at models that don't weigh too much anyways, and you look at what they look like on covers of fashion magazines, or looked like, I think it got more better, but this was the situation when Dove said, okay, this has to stop. Because this makes every woman feel bad about their body. And yeah, most of them end up, or many of them end up, feeling depressed, having big problems with their own body, which is beautiful, but they don't see it anymore. And yeah, this is a huge problem for our whole society, because yeah, fashion just creates a wrong picture of what a woman should look like. And this does a lot of damage. So they came up with Real Beauty, which is their campaign since many years now. The whole brand is like that now. They show real women with real bodies, with real curves, different body types, different, like every kind of body you can imagine, but all of them are natural. And it gives women back their self-esteem. They feel good about their bodies, and they make a huge impact with this brand. And also, it pays off on the money side. our purpose-driven brands grew 69% faster than the rest in 2018. Dove is a Unilever brand, and this is their statement about the performance of their purpose brands. So you see, this pays off at the end. Not only helps the customer and the society, which is not important at all, of course, we all want to make money. No, but both sides profit from it. Second one, we believe that everyone deserves to have a voice. Which brand is that? Come on. No wrong answers. Wow, so much engagement. Nice. It's YouTube. So thinking about, like, let's say 20 years ago, you were never heard as the average person. Who was heard? Celebrities, politicians. They got invited to TV shows. Oh, sorry. To TV shows, to the radio. They gave interviews in the newspaper, but the average person, maybe with a lot of luck, but it was definitely not the standard case, that anybody listens. And what YouTube changed is the way that, the fact that everybody in this room has a voice through YouTube. You can start your channel today, tomorrow. You could have started this 3 years ago, 10 years ago, and you can tell your story, you can teach people, you can just express yourself as an artist. So many, many ways to be heard and do something good. Next one, fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology. This is a harder one. So, okay, not so hard. Why we chose this example also shows they created an empire because of that purpose. There are also sub-brands like, or I will talk about the sub-brands in the next slide. But the situation before was the Sony founders, they built transmitters for the military. And they felt like technology is mostly used for work-related things. And they were like, there's a huge potential to use this technology to bring more creativity and joy into people's lives. And they started thinking about what can we do about it. And they did a lot of stuff, and they founded, if you look at the sub-brands of Sony, you see what a huge empire they built, and they achieved this market leadership that the title of this speech says, in all of these categories, like gaming, the PlayStation, super emotional thing. I mean, who hasn't ever shot their controller through the roof after not achieving what they wanted to achieve for hours? Sony Pictures, like movies. I mean, how many times have you cried because of a very, very good movie that really triggers your emotional parts? And Sony Music, of course, same thing. I mean, who ever listened to a song, heartbroken, started crying in their car? I think everybody of us. So what this purpose led to is, as I said, an empire of brands, and they really changed a lot of lives. I mean, they influenced many lives through what they did and what they're still doing, starting with the purpose 30 years ago. So as you see, the brand's why shapes everything. It's never about your product. Nobody cares about your product. Start with why, because this why will lead you where you need to go. We'll bring you to the market leadership we're talking about. And Richard Branson said, the brands that will thrive in the coming years are the ones that have a purpose beyond money. So think about that. Nobody wants to support you getting rich, but people feel or can identify with you if you trigger something in them. If you have a strong why that they can identify with and they say, wow, I want to be part of that. So, and now you're gonna say, wow, there's a huge brands, but how do I find my purpose? So we have some questions prepared for you. This is also what we are using in our brand strategy workshops that we work with customers on. So also you can take photos if you like. Ask yourself, what impact do we want to have with our brand? What emotions do we want to trigger in people? How should people feel like because of us, because of what we are doing? How should our customers' lives be changed? Think about DAF, huge change. What drives us in our role in the company? This is also a very important question. Why do I get up every day? Why do I work my ass off? And why do I love it? Why do I still love it? Although it fucks me up sometimes. What should become better through our actions? And what is the biggest social problem we can solve? Again, DAF, best example. And after defining what is your purpose, looking at it from different angles and cutting it down, very important also, don't just ask yourself these questions, but really dig deeper. You gotta find the core of it, because otherwise you won't believe it yourself. I mean, it's like in sales, it's like at the therapist, you never say the right answer or the true answer right away. You gotta dig deeper. So, and after creating your statement, building your statement, you should ask yourself, or you should get proof that this is a good statement or a good purpose statement. So what makes a good purpose? It's impactful. So ask yourself, would other people want to support this? So it won't be, I want to be #1 company in this and that field. And also it won't be goals about your profit or anything. So ask yourself, what change would people want to support? Also important, everyone in the company can identify with it. So don't just make it a boss decision, make it a decision as a team. It needs to work long term. So don't build a purpose every 1 or 2 years. This can be like goals or something, but a purpose needs to be something lasting. So like the ones that I showed you. It needs to work as an answer to the why question. So if somebody asks you, why are you doing this? Why do you work your ass off? This needs to be the answer. And very important, as I said, it's not about the product. The purpose should never refer specifically to the product or service, because products change, markets change, services change, but the why that you're working towards, that should stay the same. And if you're working towards this why, if you build the brand on this why, on this meta level, then you're much more independent. Then things can change, the whole world can change. You can develop new products, you can change your product, you can adapt your product, and it's always about the why, and people will stick to your brand, even if you change things. So, let the fire burn. Let the fire burn. If you have questions regarding that, you can always hit me up. So here's my phone number, my email address. Also, you can scan this QR code, get more information about us. Thank you very much for Aufmerksamkeit. Sorry, nervous. Back to Nick.